Welcome back, everybody. This is Music Talk. I'm Dave.
I'm Mike.
And this week, we're doing the Jeff Scott Soto album called The Duets Collection, Volume 1. It looks like this. So, you know, I don't even probably have to say it, but you know what I'm going to say about the album cover. I hate when people put their face on album covers. I mean, I do. I mean, why couldn't he put like a warrior or something, like one of the names of the songs, you know? The back of it's all right. I mean, if you want to put yourself on the back like that, you know, you got the track listings and all, and then a picture of him, which is cool. Got a neat little picture on the disc. I don't know. Maybe it's his hair blowing across his face or something. I don't know what it is, but anyway. So the cover, I don't like, obviously, but the words are in here. You got all the words, got everything that everybody did on here. You got pictures of everybody that participated and more lyrics, got lyrics to all the songs and who did what. So, and another picture, up close picture of him there, if you want to see him up close. So anyway, I you know, I don't like the album cover, but I do like the rest of everything I heard on here. This album really, basically, it's him doing cover songs of songs he's done before.
Yeah, I was going to say, and I got pretty much, I put up there 80s rock, you know, and I mean, and believe me, I didn't get tired of it. I enjoyed it because it was recorded very well. Production, I thought, was fantastic.
Yeah.
His vocals are great. And I read up on the story of when he was with Journey, and that's kind of shitty the way they did him. Of course, there's two sides of every story.
Yeah, but Journey seems to be that way, don't they?
Until you hear their side, I mean, it's hard to make a judgment call. All you're hearing is his side.
Yeah.
So, you know, but I got to say, I'm going to be honest with you. I saw a couple of videos, one where he was actually performing, and I saw one where they were doing a sound check. And the guy sounded great.
Yeah.
Over Steve Perry. He definitely had more balls than Steve Perry and a lot more vocal power. And I think his range is a little bit better than Steve Perry's.
Well, going into this record, I was never a really big fan of his voice. Really. Yeah. I mean, coming up when like I first heard him back with Yngwie Malmsteen back in the 80s. And I just wasn't a real big fan of his. But I've grown to like him better through the years because I've heard him on so many different projects, you know. But I gotta tell you, man, this album, I agree with you. I thought his vocals were great.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked every song on the record.
Yeah, I did too.
Now, granted, it is like a cover songs of his previous stuff, so he picked out all the ones that he liked probably and wanted to do again. But the work that he's doing with these other singers, I just think it's fantastic.
Yeah, I thought it was real good. I've got some notes I made here, you know, like all right, for example,
we'll go ahead and go through the first song. You got some on the first song?
Yeah, Living the Life.
Yeah.
Right off the bat, sounds like Molly Hatchet.
Yep. Okay, that's got the vocalist Eric Martinson on there with him.
Yep.
And he's a Swedish singer. And all these singers are all kind of on the same Frontiers label, the Frontiers music label. So he kind of, you know, since it was COVID, he wanted to do something during COVID, and he got all these people that were involved. That's just a real quick. There's a little synopsis on the back of what's going on with it.
Okay.
So I went with 80s rocker on this one. This song was actually featured in that movie Rockstar, and it's Steel Dragon, which he sang with for a little while. So if you ever see that movie Rockstar, this song is in it.
Yeah, it just when it kicked off. I haven't seen the movie Rockstar.
Yeah,
I probably should look it up and watch it.
Well, it was
A lot,
written
a lot, a
by
lot of the, a lot of those movies, though, I have a hard time getting through them because they get so cheesy at points.
yeah.
It's like,
Well,
but
Rockstar, if I'm not mistaken, that's the one with Mark Wahlberg in it, and it's
mm,
kind of like a sort of like a about Judas Priest type thing.
that was just put out here not too long ago, wasn't it? About
It's been
past
a
two or
while.
3 years.
No,
No,
it's been a lot longer than that.
has it?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay.
probably 90s for sure.
Okay. Anyway, but I just thought the song sounded a lot like Molly Hatchet and 38 Special. Yeah, I mean, very reminiscent of the late 70s, early 80s
Yeah, and that's
country
what I
rock,
wrote.
country
I
rock.
wrote the same thing, 80s rocker. That was my first note.
Yeah.
It was actually written by part of it was written by Autograph, the guy that's in
Okay.
Autograph. So
Yeah, I know who that. Yeah.
yeah, so that was pretty. It's a pretty good song, man. It's a great opener.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean, get you going right off the bat.
Mm-hmm.
And then we get to number two, "Don't Let It End,"
Mm-hmm.
which he did from with Yngwie Malmsteen. This is
Mm-hmm.
back on the Marching Out album. Um, and he's got Dino. I can't never say this guy's name right, but it's like Jalusic or
Yeah.
something. And I've seen Dino do a lot of stuff recently through the COVID stuff with other people. And this guy's got a fabulous voice, great voice.
Yeah.
And one thing too, man, that these guys have most of these guys on here have been with Trans Siberian Orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of these singers on this record have been. And so anyway, this one is a Malmsteen redo. I love this song. Don't Let It End. I liked it when it was on Marching Out. I like it now. I think the guitar playing on this record and this song is exceptional. I mean,
Yeah. To
fantastic.
me, yeah, to me, arrangement wise and everything, and overall production and sound wise, sound like White Snake slash Uriah Heep
Yep.
slash Ronnie James Dio.
Yeah. Yep. Absolutely, man. I mean, I'm
I mean,
totally there with you on that. I mean,
yeah.
you nailed it. And the production's great.
Yep.
Great. And it's the one thing that surprised me a little bit on here is that Jeff's actually playing bass on a lot of these songs and keys. So
Uh-huh.
um, this particular one, "Don't Let It In," is a guitar player named Howie Simon who plays guitar and bass, and then
Yeah.
Jeff plays the keys and vocals with Dino also. The same drummer on everything though.
Yeah.
His
I
name
didn't I didn't look up the musicians that were on it. I was just more concerned about who the duets were with and
well, the drummer is a guy named I know I'm not going to pronounce this right, but it's EDU is how you spell it. So Edu or Edu,
Edu. Mhm.
and Caminato is his last name. So he's
Edu
from
Caminato.
yeah
Wow.
he's from Brazil. He's a session drummer from Brazil, and he's
Okay.
played with Jeff on some other stuff too. But he's the drummer on all of it, and I like his drum sound. Great sound. I mean, it wasn't very much changing of the sound, but his feel and stuff made every song sound a little different. So but I really dig it, man. Yeah, "Don't Let It In." That was a great one.
Mhm.
Then we get to number three, "Mysterious," which was a song that he did with Talisman when he was in that group. Now, the
Mhm.
singer on this one, Eric Martin, he was the guy from Mr. Big
Okay.
with Billy Sheehan, Paul Gilbert.
Right. Right.
Um, so this one to me, I thought it had great vocals, and it's another decent little rocker, typical. I mean, like you were saying earlier, most of this is like straight out of '80s rock to me.
Yeah.
I mean,
Late 70s, 80s, yeah. And again, I mean, I put on there referencing again 38 Special.
mhm,
There's another guitar song, I mean, totally.
yep,
I mean,
yeah, and this
and
one,
I mean, don't get me wrong, there's nothing wrong with that. I mean,
right?
it's
No,
it's just that's what I'm hearing, when because I mean, there were one of these songs when they did that, I really had to do a double take. Go, is that 38 Special?
yeah, he does have that voice for that. He's perfect voice for 38 Special.
Right. Yeah.
I
Hold
didn't
on.
even, I didn't do that, picture it like that as much. But now that you mention it, it really does click like that. Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's cool. And then number four, we got "Believe in Me," which he has a guy named Nathan James on,
Mhm.
who was in a band called Inglorious. He also played with Yuli John Roth, sang with him, and
Mhm.
also Trans Siberian Orchestra. And to me, this is it's got a catchy chorus, catchy words, another rocker. Uh, you know, typical catchy song, man. I really liked it a lot.
Yeah. Yeah. I liked all the songs. But this song here was where to me the journey side of things started bleeding through.
Well, this one was actually written by Neil Sean and Jeff Scott Soto.
Okay.
This one and the next one.
Yep.
So the next one is Coming Home with Dean Castronova.
Yeah.
And to me, the most surprising song about this one is how much Dean sounded like Steve Perry.
Oh yeah.
I mean, he didn't sound a lot like him, but it was he was trying to sound like him. It sounded like,
Yeah.
you know,
I saw a live video of Journey with Pinetta and
mhm.
Casanova. And Casanova did one of the Journey slow ballads. He sang it. I don't know if it was When the Lights Go Down or something like that, you know.
Yeah,
But he did a hell of a job singing. I just got irritated with the way he was treating playing the drums on it. You
yeah,
know, he was kind of to me farcical on it. He would sit there and he'd hit his snare and then drop his hand way down while he's singing, doing this number, you know. And then
yeah.
I'm like, come on, you know, act like you're really doing something. Whether you know, I don't know. To me, it was just being disrespectful. But
Yeah. Well,
I
it's
don't know.
definitely sounded like a Journey song here.
Yeah,
Um, and I was impressed in Dean's vocal work,
yeah,
because I mean, I know he did some stuff with the Dead Daisies and he sang part of 30 Days in the Hole,
hmm
but I just didn't realize his voice was as good as it sounded on this. So,
I know he was capable of singing those high harmonies on the Journey stuff. So
yeah. And that really showed on here with some of the inflections of how he was doing it. It sounded like something Steve Perry would do, you know?
right, yeah, that and the next song, I'll Be Waiting. That was another one. I mean, it just had Journey all over it.
Yeah, that one had that really cool chorus too, man. That
Yeah,
chorus is so catchy.
yeah.
Um, this one's got a guy named Alario Neto, and he's a Brazilian singer. I'm not really familiar with him very much, but it had a really cool guitar riff too, man. I really dug that guitar riff on that one too. So that one was good. All right, so the next one is Calling All Girls with
Uh-huh.
Russell Allen. And this one, to me, it was definitely a late 70s, early 80s good time, roll your windows down rocker. Had a cool rocking riff. People are going to trash me because I'm going to say this, but it reminded me of a Van Halen type song,
Well,
the
yep.
David Lee Roth lyrics, you know?
I've got that down here. And here's what I got down here: Sammy Hagar, Chicken Foot, Full Circle. I also put Warrant in there because of
Yeah.
big hair rock and roll.
Yeah.
And I put Van Halen somewhat, you know. I
And I
mean,
was thinking a little bit of Poison thrown in there,
right, yeah.
you know? So it had that big 80s hair band style.
Yep.
You know, the Van Halen part for me was definitely how it was sang. The lyrical content was definitely something that you would hear a Van Halen
Yeah.
sing.
The one in the third vocal harmony thing happening there, you
That
know.
too. Yep. 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 So then we get to number 8, which is called Color My Ecstasy. And this one had that really cool bass sound in it. I thought Billy Sheehan was playing the bass on this because it sounds like all of Billy Sheehan's bass lines. Got that heavy chorus, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Little growl going on, but
hmm
it's not, it wasn't him. And I was surprised when I looked at it and it wasn't, but it definitely has that sound. But I like this one. It's got a guy named Renan Zonta
hmm
from Electric Mob. I've never heard of that guy before. Um, Pretty cool song though. Nothing wasn't like a real super catchy chorus or anything in there, but I like the song. It was pretty cool.
A big hair rock, arena rock and roll. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, the bass line really stood out for me on that one. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then we get to number 9, which is Warrior, which is why I said he probably should have put like a Warrior on here. And now that you mentioned Molly Hatchet and stuff, he could have put one of those, cool uh, horse guy on a horse with armor and axe on here. Would have been a much better album cover than his face, but
Yeah.
that's fine, I guess. But anyways,
Yeah. Yeah,
so
I kind of out of this Warrior song, I got kind of like a Night Ranger slash Van Halen type thing out of it, you know.
yeah, yeah. This has got a guy named Johnny Gielli on it, and he also sang. This was a song that came from the Axel Rudy Pell when Jeff sang for him. And I'm with you on that too. I think a lot of this album reminded me of a Night Ranger.
Yeah,
So, you know, so
yeah,
then
it
we get
did.
to number 10, and that's Holding On with somebody named BJ. And I couldn't find any information on BJ.
Yeah.
I looked all over. I don't know who BJ is. I can't even tell you anything about him because I couldn't find anything. So anyway, it's a good song. Reminded me a lot of 90s Ozzy Osbourne. The keyboards and the guitar had that same Ozzy sound about it, you know.
Yeah, I didn't put that in there. I got more of a White Snake vibe, you
Yeah,
know. And
basically the
I gotta
keyboard sounds.
hold your lighters up, you
Yeah, yeah.
know.
The keyboard sounds and the guitar sounds are what really made me think of Ozzy. Not the
Okay,
vocals or anything, but
right.
just those sounds. It was something that you would hear on like the Ultimate Sin or something like that. You know, maybe some stuff with Zach, but
Yeah. Now the last song, I don't know. I was up in the air about this song. Yeah, you
again,
go ahead. Go ahead with what you're.
again to be found. This is somebody named Matt Levin on here. Um, so this one, it had that same Billy Sheehan type bass sound on it.
Mhm.
Um, it was okay. It had a decent riff, and then I guess it was a good ender to it. But it wasn't anything that I could like remember after it was over.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't one that stuck out to me. But I think it
Yeah.
ended up the record okay.
Yeah. Well, I got a little put off by it because I am not a Guns N' Roses fan. And I felt a little bit like there was a Guns N' Roses inflection in there with the
Did you?
vocal. Oh, yeah. And yeah, also slash Bon Jovi ish type thing.
Yeah,
And I'm not a fan of either one. You know,
yeah,
I've always
yeah,
thought, and I'll hold my feelings on Bon Jovi. I mean, I
yeah,
think the guy's probably a great guy. I just am not a fan of his singing.
yeah. I mean, I didn't really get. I really didn't dig into a lot of how these sound really more for me. I mean, there's a couple that kind of reminded me of stuff, but I just really got into this record because it reminded me of being in high school again,
Yeah, yeah. I
taking the
mean,
CD in and rolling the windows down and, doing whatever they do when you're in high school that you ain't supposed to do, you know.
it just reminded me of Power FM station. You know,
Yeah.
traveling between gigs on the road. You know,
Right.
that's what I heard. You
Yeah, I
know,
mean, you've got the rockers, you've got the power ballads, you've got great vocal work. The guitar players, all three of them are exceptional on here.
Mhm.
You got three different people playing bass. The only consistent thing through the whole record is Jeff Scott Soto and the drummer.
Mhm.
Everybody else is interchanging in and out.
I'm amazed that Dean didn't play drums on the track that he sang on. You
Yeah, I
know,
thought that was kind of crazy too, but I think a lot of this might have been because of the COVID thing that they were just sending tracks to people, and
could
then
be.
somebody would sing it and send it back or something. I mean, that's the way I'm feeling about this one. Even though they did videos together, so I don't know. I don't know if you've seen any videos off of this record.
No, I didn't look for any of the videos. I was just more into.
They have the one with Dean. There's a video with Dean. There's also a video with Dino, that Don't Let It End. So they got Don't Let It End. They got I'll Be Waiting. I mean, yeah, I'll Be Waiting. They also got Coming Home, and then they got Holding On. So there's four videos that I've seen on here,
Mhm.
and they're all good. I mean, they're all kind of the same. You got the two singers, and then they'll show the guitar player occasionally, but it doesn't show the band or anything like that. But
Right, right.
still great. I mean, I think it's a great record. To me, it was refreshing because we went through Neil Morse band, then we went through Yes, and we finally got something that you know actually made me want to rock.
Yeah.
I mean, after
Well,
two straight prog rock albums, and then we get to this, it was like a breath of fresh air to me because I'm like, yes, we're rocking.
and a big thing that I'm gonna put out there on this is again, I didn't hear any auto tune. I
No,
didn't hear any sampling. It just sounded like what you were hearing were the instruments, just like they would sound if you were to walk into a nightclub or an arena and hear them play.
and honestly, I heard a couple pitch problems on a couple songs that they left, and I thought
Yeah,
that was great because I love that. You know,
yeah,
I like it when there's mistakes. I don't
gives you the human error thing, you know.
exactly. I hate it when it's perfect.
Well, listen to you want to hear some mistakes, listen to the Beatles, listen to the Rolling Stones recordings.
Right.
They're
Exactly.
all over the place, you know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
you
And
want
but
to really hear some mistakes? Listen to I'm Your Captain
yeah,
by Rand Funk.
yeah,
Put
right.
the headphones on and listen to it. You can hear the producer in the background going, okay, Don, now. You
Right.
know, it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know,
Exactly. See, back then they didn't have all the time and money and tape to do what they can do now. Now you could actually fix everything if you want to. I'm glad when they don't, you know.
exactly.
So
Well, it puts the human element in there. And I
exactly.
love that, you know.
Yep.
And it's funny you should talk about that, you know. My conversation with Chuck Larson yesterday, we were talking about pretty much that, about the recording techniques and everything. He's like me, feels like it's just gone to shit.
Yeah. It has.
And
Everything's digital, man. It's all everything's digitally imposed. There's not really
yeah, well, you got parameters on digital,
yeah,
whereas on analog there are no parameters.
right.
I mean,
That's why I
it,
like analog.
yeah, the stuff will go on analog. Stuff will record lower than you can hear and higher than you can hear.
Hmm.
Digital, digital can't keep up with it.
It'll clip it. It'll clip it off.
Yeah,
So
compresses it. You
yeah.
know.
Yep. And that's why you don't get the quality sonic sounds that you used to get,
Yep.
you know. So and when these people remastering these old ones, sometimes it doesn't do as well because the remaster don't sound as good as the original sometimes
No,
because they do too much to it.
honestly, when they, for example, digitized the Steely Dan stuff, Asia and all that stuff, and they put it on the best of, you know, decades.
Right.
And if you listen to Black Friday on that CD, the cymbals whistle when they hit them.
Yeah.
They whistle. It's like, you know, it's not a. And the reason being is digital recording cannot keep up with the high end sounds of a cymbal, violins, the high notes on a piano, or a synthesizer for that matter.
Yeah. Well, he this album here, I think they probably had a lot of digital going on,
I'm sure they did.
but it sounded great to me. I mean, I thought it was a good production. I thought the vocalists were great. Everybody he sang well with. The harmonizing was so good on here. I mean, I'm giving this one an 8.6 because I liked it a lot,
Mhm.
you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm doing 8.6 for this one.
yeah. I'm probably right about there with you. I'm gonna handle a 8.5 on it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I say I listened to it, you know, 3, 4 different times, and you know, once I was listening to it, just to piddle around, and I didn't get tired of it. I mean, I just
I think one thing that he's got an advantage of for our review is that we just went through the miserable review last week. So I think anything we would have reviewed this week would have probably been great.
yeah. I just wish, you
But
know,
it really is a great record, though. I'd suggest if you like 80s rock and roll, this is it, man.
I'm
So
gonna tell you something. I and I was talking to my wife about this earlier. I kind of wish Journey would have hung on to him.
yeah,
I think he's as good, if not better, than Pinata, whatever his name is. You know,
I
uh,
I never really liked that guy very much. I I just never liked him, but I honestly didn't even know he sang with Journey.
I didn't either until he mentioned it, and that's why he was saying it. I went back and I looked. There are a couple of stories about it,
Yeah.
uh, and he was being asked, "Are you angry or whatever?" And he goes, "Well," he says, "it was handled very cordially through management." He said, "I never got a chance to talk to anybody
Hmm.
and say goodbye properly, you know."
Yeah.
And he was talking about, you know, that he goes, "No," he goes, "I'm going to keep it on a positive note and keep sticking an olive branch out there." He said, there is a lawsuit happening, but
Hmm.
what's happening with the lawsuit pretty much is that he's treating it like he's sticking an olive branch out there. Come on, let's talk. That's all he wants to do,
Yeah.
because I think he deserves a reason why they let him go.
There's always been an issue with Journey though, man. It's like
I think it's
Jonathan
Neil
Key,
Schon.
Neil Sean are just like I don't
I
know,
think Neil
man.
Sean. I mean, he's even got problems with Steve Smith.
I mean, it's like worse than when the Eagles were doing their stuff.
Well, Steve Smith and what's his name on bass,
Ross Valerie.
Ross Valerie, they got kicked out.
Yeah. And they're actually have lawsuits against them too.
Yeah, they got kicked out.
Yeah. So I
Uh,
don't
be-
understand it.
because I mean, okay, they didn't want Dean,
No.
so they hired Hakeem, whatever his name was, to come in, and I don't even think he lasted through rehearsals. The next thing
Talking
I know,
about Omar Hakeem?
Omar Hakeem, they had
Really?
brought him in. Yeah, they were going to use him, and
Wow.
I went through some videos of where he had just gotten his kit that was designed for the Journey tours, but I never saw anything of him touring. Next thing I know, Steve Smith was coming in, had agreed to come in and fill the spot. And then about a year after he was into the world tour, I heard that they got kicked out
They fired both of them, yeah. And I heard
because
Dean is actually back with them. So I don't know, man. I don't know what's going on with the Journey camp. Now, did Jeff do an album with Journey?
no, he never recorded. He wasn't with them long. He was only hired to do the tour. And and he said the reason they gave him, they let him go, so they decided to go a different direction. How do you go a different direction? Your journey. You
Right.
hire somebody to sing for you in your journey. So how do you go a different direction? I
Yeah.
mean, why don't you just say, don't like you? We're going to get somebody else. I mean, just put
Yeah.
it out there. I mean,
That's
uh,
crazy.
the politically correct type attitude at times, especially in the entertainment and music industry, doesn't cut it, man.
Yeah.
I mean, there are great musicians out there that definitely can't work together.
No.
You know, I
Yeah.
mean, it's not going to happen.
Yeah. Yeah. I
But
mean, I
and
mean,
there's
there are some people out there that have really bad reputations of working with them, So, and
I kind of think
and Journey's high on that list.
I think Neil Sean's that way.
I think he may be too.
I don't think what's his name on keyboards. He that guy came from the Babies before he joined Journey,
He did.
and he's not an original member. So I don't even think he holds the uh, the lion's share to be able to stand up and say anything.
I think he does now. I think it's him and Neil, man. I mean, them two are the owners. They do it all. And I mean, and from what I understand, that Jonathan Cain was behind a lot of this crap they do now too. So I don't know.
Well, it could be.
I haven't investigated it. So everything we're saying here is just, kind of what I've been hearing, and obviously what you've been hearing. Uh,
Yeah,
I have not been and done any investigation, so don't sue us.
yeah. Well, I don't like the attitude of
Yeah.
musicians that are like, okay, I'm doing you a favor, let you come stand on stage with me. I don't like that attitude.
Yeah.
Music's all about joy, and it's all about sharing feelings and telling stories. It's not about who's the better person up here on stage.
Right.
And it's not about I can do my thing better than you could ever do yours, or I'm a bigger master of my craft than you are.
Well,
That's
that's
bullshit. It's bullshit.
you gotta look
Because
at it. You gotta look at Jeff Scott Soto too. Now he's getting fired from Journey, right?
yeah,
But it's not him because he goes and shares a stage with Billy Sheehan and Mike Portnoy and
right.
Bumblefoot. I mean, these guys all are big time dudes,
Right.
man. And if he can share a stage with some of these big names, then Journey would be a piece of cake for him. So to fire him, that just tells me that Journey's not on the right path, you know.
Well, yeah, but unfortunately, there are other musicians like that too. Um, Now I don't know how true this is, but I also heard that about Eric Clapton. I heard he could be a real dick,
I
you know.
mean,
But
probably.
the thing is if you look at what Eric Clapton has on stage with him, though, I mean, they're all A team, so there's no way in hell he can look at them and disrespect them. I mean, they just soon
Well,
look at him and go,
I
you don't
mean,
like it? Well, find somebody else.
he's had Nathan East playing with him for years. So I
Yeah.
mean, Nathan wouldn't be playing with him if he was that much of a
And
problem.
well, Steve Gadd, I
Steve
mean,
Gadd, yeah,
yeah.
that's what I'm saying. I mean, I don't know. Who knows? All right, we'll wrap this up. we've carried on too much.
No, we
We'll
haven't.
do we'll do we'll do a whole episode of bands that are hard to get along with. That'd be a good one. So, all right, I gave it an 8.6. Mike gave it an 8.5. Jeff Scott Soto, the Duets Collection, Volume 1. And I have a feeling that we'll get another one, or else
Yeah.
he wouldn't have called it Volume 1, right?
Yep.
Well, all right. We'll wait until the Volume 2 comes out and we'll check that one out too. So until next time, y'all stay safe.
Peace out. Listen to the music.